one thing that's very clear for our organization is that even though, as Sean was saying, the U.S. is really kind of a nerve center for the entire global organization's R&D and really drives a lot of the thinking about the types of programs. Absolutely, every program that we initiate here in the U.S. has to have relevance for China. And that means large indications. Even within oncology, which is a hot area generally, it has to be a big tumor type: breast, colon, lung, but not anything tiny like third line anaplastic large cell lymphoma, right? And so, not to say that there's a right or wrong way to do it, but that's our approach. And when I hear some of the other panelists talking about gene therapy and nanotechnology, I postdoced in a lab that became Spark Therapeutics. I love gene therapy, but it's nothing that we would do in the near future because it's hard to see how it works for large populations in China at this time. I'm just curious if the other panelists have more latitude to deviate from what might be commercially an opportunity in China, as long as it's commercially an opportunity in the US and other major markets.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share my perspective, Sam. That's a wonderful question that we had a lot of discussion about. So 2 dimensions over here that we are trying to go along to tackle the questions you raised. The one dimension is timeline, temporal. And the way we think about it is that what you describe is today's China market. And by the time some of the technology and product get to the market, maybe the dynamics will be different. And we don't know how fast they're going to be, but we kind of in the camp of believing that market dynamics will continue to evolve in China. And the second dimension is that from technology perspective, that evaluation perspective, that if you think about the market value, that's one assessment. Like, you bring a product to the market, what's the value there? The other way to think about it is from investor perspective, capital market perspective. They may or may not go with the product-based evaluation, right? So they may look at the growth, look at the technology, leading technologies. So we're also taking that into consideration. If we can become the leading player in the emerging technology trend, we feel there is an inherent value in that position. And in order to attain that position, we try to leverage the talents and access that's uniquely provided by, for example, location in Boston.